Beneath the endless Pacific, where sunlight fades and silence reigns, a single submarine drifts like a ghost through the dark. It cuts through black water with quiet precision, its crew whispering in the dim red light. This is the world of men who lived where no one else dared. And among them, one name still echoes: Dick O'Kane. He wasn't the biggest, the loudest, or the most decorated at first, but he became something rarer. A leader born from silence, a man who turned fear into focus and steel into instinct. This is his story, the story of the fearless captain of the deep. Richard Hetherington O'Kane was born in Dover, New Hampshire in 1911. He grew up near the coast, where the ocean's pull was constant and mysterious. By the time he entered the Naval Academy, he already knew his path, not above the waves but below them. Submarines fascinated him. The silence, the danger, the teamwork. It wasn't about glory. It was about trust. Underwater, there were no ranks that mattered, only survival. Every man depended on the others. Every dive tested not just machines but nerves. O'Kane learned quickly that courage wasn't loud. It was quiet, calculated, and calm. When the engines roared and the hull creaked under pressure, his heartbeat never changed. His destiny began aboard the USS Wahoo, under the command of the legendary Dudley Mush Morton. Together they became one of the deadliest duos in submarine history. Morton was fiery and bold, the kind of commander who attacked anything that moved. O'Kane was the balance, precise, analytical, and unshakably calm. Each mission aboard the Wahoo pushed the limits of human endurance. They stalked enemy convoys, dove deep to escape depth charges, and surfaced at night to strike with surgical precision. The ocean became their battlefield, one defined by silence and sudden violence. Under Morton's mentorship, O'Kane learned the fine art of submarine warfare: patience, timing, and the value of instinct. When to attack, when to wait, when to disappear. But the lessons came at a cost. In 1943, the Wahoo was lost with all hands. O'Kane was not aboard that patrol. Fate had spared him, and from that moment on, he carried the weight of their memory in every dive that followed. When O'Kane was given command of the USS Tang, it wasn't just another assignment. It was destiny fulfilled. The Tang was a sleek, deadly Balau-class submarine, armed with the latest torpedoes and guided by one of the sharpest minds in the fleet. From the first patrol, O'Kane transformed his crew into a single living machine. Every order was delivered softly, every movement coordinated like clockwork. He was known for his precision and his calm under fire. He didn't bark commands. He whispered them, and men followed. The Tang's missions were bold beyond belief. O'Kane's tactics redefined how submarines fought. He attacked on the surface at night, often closing within a few hundred yards before firing. To others it seemed reckless. To him it was perfect control. His philosophy was simple: strike fast, strike close, and vanish before they can breathe. Every mission was a chess match played in darkness. O'Kane read the sea like a map. He could feel the rhythm of the enemy, the hum of propellers, the ping of sonar, the timing of escorts. His attacks were sudden, silent, and devastating. Imagine it: the Tang gliding silently through black water, periscope rising slowly above the surface, the moon casting faint light across the waves. In the distance, the dim outline of a Japanese convoy, massive freighters and escorts unaware of the hunter below. O'Kane's voice cuts through the quiet. Fire one. A torpedo leaves the tube with a soft hiss, then another and another. Moments later, the ocean erupts in thunder. Ships break apart, flames climb into the night, and then silence again. His men called him fearless, but O'Kane would have said it differently. He wasn't fearless. He was focused. Fear is what kept you alive under pressure. He just learned to live with it and master it. Under his command, the Tang sank more enemy ships than almost any submarine in the war. Each victory was earned through skill, not luck. And every dive reminded his crew that the sea never forgave mistakes. By October 1944, the Tang had already become a legend. O'Kane and his crew had destroyed enemy convoys, rescued downed pilots, and slipped away from death time after time. Their confidence was unshakable. But war doesn't reward confidence. It tests it. The Tang's 5th patrol took them to the Formosa Strait, one of the most dangerous waters in the Pacific. On the night of October 24th, O'Kane spotted a Japanese convoy under the faint glow of the moon. He maneuvered the Tang into position and began his attack. One by one, the torpedoes left their tubes, each one striking true. The convoy was torn apart. Flames lit the sky. O'Kane surfaced to finish the job, firing his last 2 torpedoes at a crippled freighter. But then the impossible happened. One torpedo malfunctioned. It curved in a wide, deadly arc and came back. O'Kane shouted for evasive action, but it was too late. The Tang's own torpedo struck her stern. The explosion tore through the submarine, throwing men off their feet. Lights failed. Machinery screamed. The sea poured in. In seconds, the Tang was dying. Alarms echoed, water rushed through the compartments, and the once calm captain fought to save his crew. O'Kane ordered the men to the escape trunk, helping them one by one, staying behind until the last moment. The submarine slid beneath the waves, its hull twisting and groaning, crushed by pressure. Only 9 men escaped to the surface. O'Kane was among them, but survival was only the beginning. The Japanese quickly captured them. For the first time, the hunter had become the hunted. The prisoners were taken to Japan and interrogated. Beaten, starved, and humiliated, O'Kane still refused to break. His captors wanted intelligence, but he gave them nothing. He carried himself with quiet defiance, the same composure that once commanded a submarine. Even in captivity, he was a leader. He kept morale alive, whispered encouragement to broken men, and reminded them that the war was not over. He believed they would see daylight again, and they did. When Japan surrendered in 1945, O'Kane was liberated. The sea that nearly killed him had spared him one more time. O'Kane returned home to a hero's welcome, but he never considered himself a hero. He was awarded the Medal of Honor, 3 Navy Crosses, and numerous other distinctions. Yet he spoke more often about his crew than himself. He lived quietly, teaching others the lessons of leadership, discipline, and humility. When asked about fear, he said, "Fear is natural. It's what you do with it that defines you." In time, he became a symbol not just of victory, but of grace under pressure. To his men, he was more than a captain. He was a teacher, a protector, and a reminder that courage is found in calm, not chaos. Years passed. The ocean remained vast and unchanging. Somewhere in the dark, the wreck of the Tang still rests, a steel tomb holding the echoes of laughter, orders, and courage. When the water is still and the wind quiet, it's said you can almost hear the hum of her engines, the voice of her captain calling out through time. Dick O'Kane's story is not just about war. It's about leadership, loyalty, and the human spirit's refusal to sink. Because even in the darkest depths where light cannot reach, there are men who never stop fighting. Men like Dick O'Kane, the fearless captain of the deep,